Hi, I'm Dr. Maycie Elchoufi with Medical Weight and Wellness Specialists. When it comes to healthy eating, a little preparation goes a long way. So today we're going to look at some different ways to repurpose your foods so that you don't get bored with flavors and you can just go shopping once, do some prep work over the weekend, and be good to go for the week. It's really important to make the healthy choice also be the most convenient choice and set yourself up for success. We're going to be using a whole chicken, about 3 to 4 pounds, as well as some onion, garlic, cauliflower, some bell peppers, lemon, tomato. We're also going to be making a spice rub. You can really use whatever spices you like, but today I'm going to be using black pepper, paprika, cayenne, cinnamon, allspice, and a little bit of salt. We're also going to be getting some salad greens. I'm just going to get some pre-made salad greens, but you can go ahead and chop up lettuce, spinach, whatever you like. Celery, blue cheese, yogurt, some hot sauce, and of course olive oil, salt and pepper, which is a staple. Today we're going to make a crock pot rotisserie chicken, and I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to start with making a basic dry spice rub. So we're going to use this is about a teaspoon of each, about a teaspoon of cinnamon, black pepper, paprika, cumin, allspice, and my favorite, a little bit of cayenne. Very simple rub. So I'm just going to mix that together here, and then I'm just going to sprinkle that on top of the chicken and just rub that in. And you want to get the underside as well. Now what I'm also going to do, just to give it a little extra flavor, we're going to put in a couple of wedges of onion and some whole garlic cloves. Okay, so now this chicken is ready to go into our crock pot. If you have a little grid or rack for the crock pot, that's great. If you don't, you can also use some crumpled up pieces of aluminum foil to keep that bottom of that chicken from getting soggy. So I've got a couple that I've pre-crumpled here. Very easy to do. And then we're just going to take this chicken as it is and lay it right on top of our aluminum foil to keep it from getting soggy. All right. Along with this recipe, I'm also going to make a cheesy cauliflower bake. What I'm going to do is add some cauliflower to this, but at home I would probably wait a couple hours before adding the cauliflower because that doesn't need quite as much time to cook as the chicken, which will take about 4 to 5 hours. And make sure you use a meat thermometer to check that the internal temperature is at least 165 to make sure it's safe to eat. So the cauliflower, just to make it super easy, I'm just having this in big wedges. You don't even have to cut it up a lot. And we'll just put that right in there with our chicken. There we go. And we'll get the lid. Okay, and we'll just put that right on there. And so now we're good to go. We leave that alone for 4 to 5 hours. And when it's done cooking, I'm going to show you what we're going to do next. Now that our chicken is cooked, I've taken it out of the crock pot and I'm going to let it rest on the wooden cutting board over here. This is a clean board, not anything the same as the raw chicken board that we used earlier. Now, when the chicken comes out of the crock pot, it's going to be very tender, kind of fall apart. But if you want it to have a nice golden color like this one does, all you need to do is pop it under the broiler for a few minutes and you'll get that effect. As this rests, I'm going to go ahead and use the cauliflower that I put in the crock pot with the chicken and do another little dish out of that. Here we have our cauliflower. As you can see, it's in kind of hearty chunks, but you can make it as finely chopped or coarsely chopped as you like. The most important thing though is to make sure the cauliflower is nice and dry before you combine it with your cheese, otherwise it won't ever really toast up very well. So I'm just going to take a couple of paper towels. This is just a little trick to make sure your cauliflower is nice and dry before you continue working with it. One paper towel here. Got our cauliflower right on top of that. We put the other paper towel on top and we just press. So it's a little elbow grease. And I usually let this sit for a couple of minutes to make sure that it's nice and dry. And after that, you're good to go. Okay, so now we just add our cauliflower that's been dried a little bit to the cheese. have that there. And again, the measurements are going to be on the website, so just the overall concept is we're going to mix these and mix them really well. And I usually just use my hand, it's much more efficient, but if you like a spoon, that's fine too. Now that the mixture is really well incorporated, I'm going to go ahead and put some of this into a ramekin. And I like to have a nice big tall mound, which is going to look really pretty once it's under the broiler. Okay, we just set that on in there and let it go for just a couple of minutes. Now I have a couple of minutes while my casserole is in the oven that I can cut up some vegetables. Now, I'm not going to just cut up what I think I might need for tonight. I'm going to cut up some extra so that that's ready to go for the rest of the week. It's a lot more easy to make that healthy choice when it's already prepped and ready to go for you. So I've got some bell peppers here. You can really use whatever vegetables you like, but this is just what I think works well for this dish. All right. And I'm just going to add these to the ones I've already cut up previously. And now my chicken is rested enough that I can go ahead and get a few slices off. Perfect. And now the casserole is done, so we're good to go there. Okay, there we go. So we have our easy faux rotisserie chicken ready to go, along with our cheesy casserole with cauliflower and cheddar. And I'm just going to serve this alongside a simple little salad with just a little lemon juice to brighten up the flavors, and just a tiny splash of olive oil. I like to put a little fresh ground pepper on mine too. And so there you have it, a nice little meal, and you're good to go, and you also have things left over for later. So let's go get started there. So now we have this great chicken that we've pulled the rest of it off the bones, and we're good to go and make some different things with it. So lots of things you can do. You can just have it for lunch the next day by putting it on top of some salad greens and throw in a few tomatoes. You can also do something entirely different. So what we're going to do today is combine this with some of the peppers and tomatoes that we chopped up earlier, and also some of the onions. So what I'm going to do is use a little bit of olive oil, and to that I'm going to add some onions, and we'll get some bell peppers, and give that a good stir. As that starts cooking down, I'm also going to add some of my chicken. And I'm going to add some black beans over here. And I'm going to make this into a one-dish skillet taco chicken bake. So I'm going to take some pre-made taco seasoning, and I'm going to add some more of my tomatoes that I cut up earlier, and give that a good stir. Okay, so now I've got my chicken, my bell peppers, my onions in there with a little bit of olive oil. I've got some black beans too, and I'm just going to let that cook down a bit. I can serve this as is. I can sprinkle a little bit of shredded cheese on it. If this was an oven-safe pan, I could also maybe put it under the broiler. The other thing that I can do, just to make it a little bit different, is I can cook it down a lot more to make sure all the fluid gets absorbed, which I've actually already done over here. We'll just set this guy aside for a moment. And as you can see, this is kind of more of a quesadilla filling consistency now. So we're going to make a chicken quesadilla. So for this, all I'm going to do is put some oil in a hot pan, lay my tortilla, give it a little stir so it's all evenly coated, and then simply spoon my quesadilla filling in here, just like that. And I'm just doing it on one half so I can easily flip the other side of the tortilla over. And we've got some cheese left here from our cauliflower casserole, so we're just going to sprinkle that onto the quesadilla. And when that's nicely browned, it takes about a minute, we can just do one of these and flip it over. Right now it's not brown because I didn't really let it go as long as it needed to, but I can just flip that over. So we're still using essentially the same ingredients that we had been, but we've gotten a few different dishes out of it, which is great. And we still have a little bit of chicken left over, maybe not enough for an entire meal, but let's see what else we can make with it. Okay, so with a little bit of chicken that we have left, we're going to do a buffalo style ranch dip. So we're going to take the chicken, we're going to add a little bit of Greek style plain yogurt, a few dollops in there, and then I'm going to add some blue cheese, little crumbled blue cheese, a bit more, and of course hot sauce. Sprinkle that on, and we're going to go ahead and stir that really, really well. This particular dip, it's really a lot better if you refrigerate it for a while, so I'm going to mix this thoroughly and then set it in the fridge. But in the interest of time, I've already went ahead and done that. I'm going to show you what that looks like. So this is our very well mixed, nicely chilled buffalo chicken dip. And there's different ways you can serve it. You can have it with a little bit of celery, that goes really well. The other thing, since we were using some of those bell peppers previously, these make nice little boats, so you could even have that as a little serving utensil. Or the tortillas that we had earlier for our quesadilla, you can cut that into wedges, toast them up, and those do great as a dip too. But I just wanted to show you how to sneak some extra veggies into your meals. Okay, so there you have it. A few key ingredients, and we've managed to make several different dishes with the same items, but different flavor profiles. In our example today, we've used a crock pot rotisserie style chicken along with a cheesy cauliflower casserole served alongside some little green salad. We've repurposed that same chicken and some of those key ingredients into a chicken quesadilla. And we've also used the same ingredients or some of the same ingredients to make a buffalo chicken dip along with some veggies and some tortilla crisps. So just use your imagination, think of ways to repurpose some of your favorite foods, and enjoy healthy meals without spending all day in the kitchen. Thanks for joining me. I'm Dr. Maycie Elchoufi. Happy eating.